Hey guys, my name is Matimeo, and today I'm excited to say that we have gotten a lot of new information about Star Wars Battlefront. DICE just revealed a tour of all of the planets, giving us a great look at all of them, including Endor, which looks amazing by the way. But also, they gave us a lot of new information about the new guns and weapons that are going to be available in the game. And so what I wanted to do today is talk about these new weapons and gadgets and then kind of go from there. And so the first weapon that we have to look at is the new sniper rifle called the DTL-20A Pulse Cannon. The way it works is that the longer that you charge this weapon up, the more damage you are going to unleash upon your enemies. It sounds very similar to the sniper mechanics from Team Fortress 2. So if you played that game, you're probably going to feel right at home here. But the question remains, how powerful is this going to be when it's fully charged? Will it one-shot body shot players? Will you need to require still a headshot to drop your enemy from 100% to 0? Because if it is absolutely devastating, if it is a one-shot body shot, while yes, it does have the drawback that you have to fully charge it, I have a feeling that in the right hands, this thing will be absolutely devastating. And so I'm really interested to see how this thing performs. One weapon that I am a little worried about, though, is the new star card gadget called Homing Shots. The way it works is that you can lock on to enemy infantry, not vehicles, but soldiers, and then take them out from a distance. This has the potential to be very frustrating. Maybe I'm just being too much an elitist here, but I never like the idea of having a weapon that can lock on to infantry. Like, that just doesn't sit well with me, and so I'm crossing my fingers that DICE has balanced this accordingly. If it does massive damage, or even worse, one-shot someone, this is going to be a nightmare to fight against on the battlefronts. For example, if you're playing on Hoth, you're playing Walker Assault, trying to get to that third base and disarm the objectives when you're on offense is going to be ridiculous. If their entire team is running homing shot because there isn't really any cover that you can hide behind, it's going to be free pickings for anyone that is using this star card. And so I'm hoping that DICE has balanced this accordingly. Either it does a minimal amount of damage because, let's be honest, it doesn't require a whole lot of skill to use this well. I mean, it's a lock-on missile. It does all the work for you. So reduced damage would be okay. Maybe it has a slow travel speed so that the enemy who is locked on can have plenty of opportunity to duck behind cover, or it can be countered by other gadgets in the game like the bubble shield. Only time will tell at this point, but I am really hoping that this does not become a nuisance in Star Wars Battlefront. One weapon that does look like it's going to require some skill, though, is the bowcaster. The way this one works is very similar to the sniper rifle mechanics, where the longer that you charge it up, the more explosive bullets it fires down range, but the twist to it is that it fires them in a horizontal arc. It's for these two reasons why I think that this is going to have a higher skill gap. Not only because you can't just point and click at the enemy like every other blaster, but you also need to think about how long you should be charging this thing up in tight situations. And so while it might take players a little bit longer to get comfortable with this weapon, at the same time, this is probably going to be one of the more unique guns in Star Wars Battlefronts. The next one is the T-21 blaster. It apparently deals heavy damage at long range, but the drawback to it is it has a slow rate of fire and lacks in optic. I don't know how much of a drawback a lack of optic is really going to be in Star Wars Battlefronts. I don't know about you guys, but when I played the beta, and a lot of my friends, third-person mode was the bread and butter. There was no reason to ever aim down sight or play in first-person mode, and DICE has even come out and said that you don't get an increase in accuracy while aiming down sight. And so I have a feeling that while, yes, the drawback of the slower RPM is going to be something they're going to have to work around, as long as you don't mind hip firing, as long as you don't mind not having an optic, I have a feeling that this is still going to be a devastatingly good weapon at a distance. Moving on over into the pistol category, where all of them are going to do well up close, we have the Scout Pistol. This thing looks adorable. I'm sure it packs a punch. I'm sure it does a lot of damage, but this thing just looks adorable. There's also the SE-14C blaster, which is a 5-burst pistol, also does well up close. And then we have Han's Solo weapon, the DL-44 blaster pistol. According to the description, this is one of the most powerful blaster pistols in the galaxy, but the drawback to it is that it overheats very quickly. You wouldn't think that when you watch the gameplay, and this might just be because it's Han Solo that's wielding it. Maybe that's the reason why he was packing such a punch, but this thing is going to be an amazing pistol in the right hands. Speaking of hero weapons, flawless transition, we have the EE3 blaster, which is used by Boba Fett. This is going to be a 3-round burst gun. It is going to be effective at long-range combat, and to assist you with that, they've also added in that nice optic. And so if you do feel inclined and you want to really peer into your enemy before you take that shot, it looks like that is going to be available. Moving on over into some of the gadgets, it looks like DICE isn't deviating too far from what they're comfortable with, and they're going to be giving us a smoke grenade, flash grenade, and impact grenade. Pretty standard in most first-person shooters. The only one that's more unique, I'd say, is impact. It's going to do less damage than the thermal detonator, but as soon as it hits an object or an enemy player, it's going to detonate and do splash damage, and so it might be a good way at finishing someone off. And then finally, the last two weapons that they've showcased is the CA-87 blaster, which is essentially a shotgun, and the only shotgun that we've seen so far, and the RT-97C blaster. This one, at first glance, looks like it could be a sniper rifle. It's got an optic, it's got a long barrel, but apparently it is a versatile heavy blaster, which indicates that it's going to do well in pretty much every single type of combat situation. But yeah, those are all of the weapons and gadgets that DICE has showcased today. I hope you enjoyed. It has been a lot of fun, at least for me, checking out all of the new planets and maps. Endor has met my expectation and just blown past it. It looks gorgeous. Like, DICE has really nailed the aesthetic here, and it makes me even more excited to play this game. But yeah, guys, that is about it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed. Give me your thoughts on the weapons that have been revealed. Are you excited to use a particular one? Are you disappointed that one of your favorites didn't make it in? Let me know down below. But yep, until tomorrow, have a good one and take it easy.